content relevance 20 marks, clarity and structure 15 marks, verbal communication and body language 25 marks, innovation and creativity 20 marks, language to time 10 marks, adherence to time 10 marks, totally 100 marks. So judges, please give the marks per 100 based upon this. So don't tell your name, don't tell your college name also. You have to introduce with your chest number. That's it. If anything is deviated, we will disqualify you. Chest number 33, starting number 33. So you have to introduce with your chest number, you have to explain from here, from the center or side, whatever it may be, based upon your convenience. First check the mic, we will start the time.
Good morning, one and all. My chest number is 33. Honorable guest dignitaries and all my dear friends. Today the topic is One Nation and One Election. It is the main for National Youth Parliament. It also be considered as the Lok Sabha and state assemblies. It is the concept of principle and nations to require the assemblies and we celebrating on the considered as the 1952 to 1967 simultaneously. It undergoes at the central government by the under Prime Minister Narendra Modi. This nation was this nation we called as the we discussed about this nation to introducing more and efficiency of youth parliament. Jai Hind, thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Mahatma Gandhi once said, "The best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others." But how can our leaders truly serve us if they are constantly caught in the endless cycles of elections? Namaste everyone, I am number 34. Respected jury, today I am here not just as a speaker, but as a young Indian, one among the 1.4 billion dreamers who believe in a stronger and a more efficient democracy. And I ask you, can we afford to let elections happen every few months, delaying development, halting governance and draining our resources? Yes, the answer is clear. India needs one nation, one election. Let's talk about the numbers and the facts. 2019 Lok Sabha elections alone costed rupees 10,000 crores. That was the highest expenditure that was ever occurred. Now, if we see, every year at least 5 to 7 states go on election. This means that our leaders are in constant campaign mode. And when we see the model code of conduct, it is imposed 100 to 150 days every 5 years. This means that over a decade, almost an entire year of governance is lost. 60,000 crores. Yes, you heard me right. That is the estimated amount that India spent on Lok Sabha and state elections between 2014 and 2019. Yes, that's the money that could have actually transformed India. That amount, instead of repeated elections, imagine we could have built 24 AIIMS-like hospitals, or we could have funded the education for 2 crore children, or we could have actually funded the entire budget of a state like Himachal Pradesh for an entire year. Why do we need to have a single and a synchronized election? Number one, it ensures that we have long-term policy making and stability. It ensures increased voter participation. It reduces expenditure drastically. It also reduces the black money and corruption because cash for voter schemes thrives during the frequent elections that happen. Now, let us see. Why do we actually need, what is the way forward? Number one, we could actually try synchronizing the Lok Sabha elections with the state assembly to ensure that we are actually checking its feasibility. And we could also have consensus building because the national and political states could actually come to a consensus. Viksit Bharat is within our reach. What we need to understand is that we can make it happen. Let's not waste our money. Let's come up together and let's stop wasting our precious governance time. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.
Respected dignitaries and all my dear friends, all of you, good morning. My chest number is 35. Today we discuss about the topic is One Nation and One Election. The concept of One Nation and One Election is a key reform initiative in India and it is aimed at the streamlining governance and progressive nation. Sir Modi has been actively pushing this reform with the 129th Constitutional Amendment Building, and the next one is Constitutional Legal Huddleness. This is implement for this idea is amendment and constitutional as well as representation of the People's Act. And the benefits of One Nation and One Election is a women empowerment, quality education, corruption and reducing cost and minimizing disruptions and skill development. Thank you for giving this wonderful opportunity.
हम भारत है, हम भारत के मतदाता है. These words taken from the Election Commission of India represent the true power of our democracy. Our real strength is our people. Good morning everyone. I am participant 39 here to speak about the topic One Nation, One Election, a path towards Viksit Bharat. Let's first delve into some history. Between 1951 and 1952, India held its first elections where the state assembly and Lok Sabha elections happened together. This process continued smoothly for the next 4 election cycles. However, after 1967, the process got disrupted. State governments collapsed, including the Lok Sabha. State governments collapsed, leading to
You can go ahead.
You can finish your time.
Oh, you are 36 or 39?
You said 39.
Yeah, okay.
Let's first delve into some history. Between 1951 and 1952, India held its first elections where state assembly and Lok Sabha elections happened together. However, after 1967, the process got disrupted where state governments collapsed and some governments, including the Lok Sabha, had to end their term early. As a result, the system became fragmented country. Now, the government wishes to implement this idea once again, believing that it could be a huge step of progress for our country. The question is why? Let's look at this. The first reason, the main aim of our government is the country's progress. But with elections happening more than once in a single year, it can lead to, with elections happening more than once, with elections happening
Respected guests and dignitaries and my friends, good morning to everybody. Today I am talking about one nation and one election. One nation, one election is proposed under consideration of the government of India to conduct elections simultaneously in all over the country. Here, one nation, one election, conducting the elections in Lok Sabha and state assembly parliaments, and it is the main motive of this one election to reduce the cost of election and to conduct elections in simultaneously from 28 states and 8 union territories. The main idea of one nation one election is to conduct elections simultaneously in all over the country and including Lok Sabha and Parliament. In this act it continued at 1967 and disrupted at 1968 and 69 due to immature dissolutions. As we know that Narendra Modi in 2014, the Chief Minister in Gujarat states that by conducting the simultaneous elections we can reduce the public money and it is easy for the convenience of the voters and it is easy to vote voters in all countries. And then in one nation one election, the high level committee, it is formed at September 2 and in 2023, and the main purpose is to conduct elections at a particular frame time and or in a single day. And change.
So, good morning to everyone, respected dignitaries. Today, I want to talk about a very important topic which has been widely discussed in our country, that is one nation, one election. First of all, we are going to see what it means. It means that ending of an election among the all states and Lok Sabha, state assemblies and Lok Sabha at a time simultaneously. This is held by our respected Prime Minister Sir Narendra Modi ji and also with his party BJP, and some more people are in the existence of this. Some more people are existence of this concept also. First of all, I want to reveal one thing to all of you, that is that this is not a new idea for this India country. In earlier independence, 1952, 1957, 1962, 1967, these are the 4 years the general elections are held by in the system only. It means one nation, one election. On this idea only they held the elections. Coming to the point, by this single time election and multiple time of elections, so many benefits also there. As we all know that for every positive intention there is a equal and opposite negative intention produced in the world. Like that only here also some opposition parties opposes this idea very strongly, like Indian National Congress, Trinomial Congress, like other religion parties like Islamic, Hinduism, like that. So, and among this all, what the fear of this opposition parties is this may leads to reduce the federalism. what is mean federalism means the distribution of governing laws to central and state assemblies, and it means that they fear that national leaders will dominate the state leaders, and by the single time of elections, holding of single time of elections, so many benefits are also there. They are waste of time. Single time elections, active participation of voters also be there, because they don't want to waste their time for this thing, and they also want to utilize the things, and the disruption of governance also takes place due to the multiple time of voting. And thank you, Jai Hind.
Very good morning to the dignitaries and representatives and faculty members and our friends. So there are several tangents in my head about this perspective on this youth parliament, that one nation and one election. In other terms, we usually call them as the state legislative elections or Lok Sabha elections. So what is the main purpose of this introducing that state legislative elections and local sabha elections? It is not introduced here. From the year of 1952 to 1967, following our independence, the elections were held simultaneously, as like the synchronizing elections were simultaneously held each and every 5 years of all the states and districts of both one nation and one election. At the year of 1958 and 2059, across their mature resolutions on this perspective of one nation, one elections, their pattern was just staggered. So this pattern staggered, and now we are witnessing what the elections are same in that since 1967, 1959, the way the elections were staggered till now, it is on the same pattern. So what we are going to, what are the significant benefits of again regaining the state and legislative and local sabha elections? So what is the main significant benefits are cost effective, stability and efficiency, which are known as the strong for the democratic country. So, and also there are several benefits, like in the by one nation, one election also will give the several benefits, like in the Lok Sabha elections in the 2019, there is the 55,000 crores where, 55,000 crores were used on this election campaigns over there. So annually annually for this one nation, one election, by using them, up to annually 7,000 crores to 50,000 crores we can annually spend on some public welfares and different sectors as industrial, company and other sectors by introducing this youth parliament. And the one nation and one election in another way, it will also helps to decrease it will also enhance the deployment of the security forces. The deployment of the security forces will reduces the malpractices, especially in the year of 2024. The Uttar Pradesh and Jharkhand, their container were noticed by enforcement agencies, which has a worth of 1,000 crores having a drugs, liquor and cash. So these are malpractices were held. If the deployment of this security will be there, it will utilizes the government and decreases the malpractices. So in another way also, thank you, Jai Hind.
Good morning to one and all. My test number is 44. Good morning to one and all once again for the dignitaries and honorable chief guests who are attended here. Today I am here to tell about the importance of one nation and one election. One nation and one election is also called as Jamalian election, which the election is going to conduct for both Lok Sabha and the state assemblies once by not conducting a separate. By conducting both Lok Sabha and the state assemblies, we can improve more advantages. The main motto of conducting both together, we can improve, like India is not a developed country, we can say that India is a developed country. It also increases about cost. It also increases the health care. Whatever we are spending about to the politics, whatever we are conducting to the voters, whatever we are conducting to the main purpose of the elections, that amount is going to use for the developing of the India, like health care, like hospitalities, like education, like conducting more technologies, like artificial intelligence. Not only artificial intelligence, by improving all the technologies, we can make India as a developed country. And one nation and one election is not a new system. It was ordered, it was considered in the 1951 to 1952. This one nation and one election is started, and it was continued to the 1967. Due to some political disruptions, it was not conducting till today. So the main motto of Modi ji is to conduct the one nation and one election for the developed country. By this, we can increase the domestic activities, and also India changes many technologies. One nation and one election is conducted by the youth parliament. I am glad to hear to say that India is not a developing country from now onwards. By participating through this on the whole world, we can say that India is a developed country. And also the main importance of there are so many advantages of one nation and one election. It increases the cost. There are more advantages. Thank you. Jai Hind.
My chess number is 51. I am here to tell about one nation and one election, paving the way for Viksit Bharat. One nation, one election means holding Lok Sabha and all state governments together across the country. Right now, elections are happening frequently and disrupting governance, and they're illegal, costing a lot of time and money. But now we are for one nation and one election. It means elections are conducted at the same time. It will help to reduce the time and costing efficiency, and many state governments are very helpful for this. Now, one nation, one election means it is very beneficial for our future and helps our development of nation. It means that our country is very delighted through one nation and one election. It means our India is one India, one vision. That helps to develop India and one vision. It means thank you.
Good morning to one and all, respected dignitaries. My chess number is 52. I am thrilling to here today to explain about the concept of one nation, one election. In this one nation, one election in aims to all Indian to synchronizing this from local to national level to be continued simultaneously. The proposal was being championed by the BJP party to streamline out this, main to reducing the cost, to reduce the cost and the electoral process. Here addressing to the it was proposed by the BJP party, the streamline
a strong unified parliamentary system is key to achieve further convenience. Our governments need to be unified and forward-looking. Currently, India has both Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha at national levels, 28 states of legislature. For decentralization allows states to and the Indian Parliament was established in 1950 by adoption of Constitution by India. Thank you.
Respected dignitaries of the dais and all my dear friends, a very warm afternoon to one another. Today I stand in front of you to share my views about one election, one nation leads to Viksit Bharat. First of all, we all know that if we want to success in our life, first of all we will keep one goal, and after that we will try to overcome the obstacles, right? So same like that, I am hereby proud to say that all the citizens of India have a goal, that is the Viksit Bharat, and these frequent elections in our country, like a democratic country like India, facing one obstacle, that is these frequent elections. So to overcome this obstacle, we need one election, one nation, and it is very much essential for the people who want to develop themselves and who wants to develop the nation as well. So for that, each and everyone has the same responsibility as the government has. So government is trying its level best, but what about us? And we all know that youth is like a asset to the society, and we will become a youngest country in the world, because most youth are there in the country, means there is more serving hands in the country. So even the countries like Sweden, South Africa and the Germany are implementing this policy. Why they are implementing this? Because they want to develop their country. Why can't we? We have a capable police officers and all the security officers. So why can't we implement this one election, one nation? We are also capable enough. So we can also do this. And you know, by 2047 we will complete 1 century. That is 100 years. So why can't we? We are also capable enough. We can do this. Even the constitution also needs to be changed, some amendment acts. It will change because it is for us and it is for the people. So I hope we can definitely reach and we can definitely become developed by 2047. So if we all think and we all coordinate, means we can definitely do this. And thank you for giving me this precious opportunity. Thank you.
Greatest scientist and former president of our country, that is Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. Once he had a dream that by 2016 our nation should be a superpower and developed country in whole world. Now it's already, we can say it's already 2025 has been arrived. I don't know whether we have succeeded in this dream or not, and I don't know whether we will be able to succeed in future also, because do you know the reason behind that? Yes, the major reason behind this is the multiple or recurring elections that are keep on going in our country. So to avoid this, one and only solution we have, that is one nation, one election. So with these words, good afternoon to each and everyone who are present over here. My number is 64. And do you know what is the expenditure that has been spent by our Election Commission of India in the Lok Sabha elections of 2014? It's approximately 30,000 crores. Yes, absolutely it is 30,000 crores. In after next election, they have been spent that is equal to 60,000 crores. And till now it had been increasing. And in last election it has notified that they have been spent approximately 80,000 crores. Imagine. and it is already approximately they have decided that in future, in next election, they will spend more than 1 lakh crores. And where I am telling is all for Lok Sabha elections only. Imagine in our country we have other elections such as our legislature, state assemblies and other districts, taluks and everything. So if you see the budget which is given for those all, imagine how many crores of amount have been spent only on elections every year. So to overcome this, again we have one and only solution, that is one nation, one election. So completely if you see the multiple or recurring elections is waste of money, time and management, people, etc. So if you see in our country, every representative who are like leaders, including our MPs, MLAs, even Prime Minister also visit the rallies and all the convoys which are representing for the parties while in all assemblies. So basically, for each and every representative will get only 5 years of period to prove their potency and to solve the problems of people and to look up the development of our country. But these people, unfortunately, they are wasting the entire time in the rallies and all the nonsense each and every year in some of the states in the country. So to overcome this, again we have one solution, that is one nation and one election. And last I want to conclude that as we know, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar also have been given us one man, one citizenship. Then why don't we have one nation, one election? And nextly, if you see, India is said to be united in diversity, but where they are following in the form of elections, we are still in diversity in the form of elections. So with this, thank you, and we need to join our hands for unity, and we need to join our hands for one nation, one election. Thank you.
Good afternoon to all of you. Respected members of the House and my dear fellow citizens, today I stand here to speak about the topic One Nation, One Election. One Nation, One Election is not just the priority for the public as well as for the political priority, but it's the change that the government, that the people, that the local people as well as the youth want from our country. As we see from the decades and decades, our country held some elections. Our country has been stuck in the elections after the elections. One election has been completed, the government has started to elect another election. They have started to prepare for another election. So as you see, if I talk about some records, as India has recorded from the past years, in the 2024, when the Lok Sabha elections were held, the BJP government, Bharatiya Janata Party government has reported its expenditure. They have spent 1734.68 crores, which was 37 point more than that of the previous election that was held in the year of 2019. So as you can guess, in the 2019, 1268.54 crores were the expenditure of the 2019 election. But if you go through, as the time increases, as the time changes, the expenditure to showcase the election is also increasing. So as we see, another political party, if we talk about another political party, that is the higher political party, BJP as well as the Indian National Congress, they have spent 585 crores and some lakhs they have spent in the 2024 Lok Sabha elections. And also moreover, if we talk about our great India, the United India, it is coming under the first number, that in the 2019 Lok Sabha election, that the total expenditure of the Lok Sabha election was 5,500 crores. That was the world's largest expenditure for the election, the most expensive election ever that India has faced. In the Lok Sabha election 2019, which was 8 billion of the total expenditure, of the total in the rupees 8 billion, which has crossed the US presidential election which was held in the year of 2016. That was more. That was only 6 billion rupees. So if we talk about our united nation, our youth of our India want the one nation, one election. So what does it mean, one nation, one election? So we want the change. We, the blood of our India, we want the change. We want to save the money. We want to save the time. We are talking about the time. We are talking about the governance. So from the government, we want one nation, one election. So in the conclusion, I want to say that when we are wishing something, we wish make this change. So we can be find the way. So if we have the power, we can find the way to make the change. So thank you for giving me this opportunity to showcase my view about the one nation, one election. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.
Respected judges, esteemed members of the House, and my fellow citizens, I'm Chess 98. After one nation, one constitution, one flag, one tax, here comes one nation. One nation, one election is paving way to Viksit Bharat is a proposal made by the government which is complex but it has the potential to revolutionize our government process, stabilizing governance and fostering a large political landscape. Currently, India is facing a constant cycle of elections. We had Delhi Legislative Assembly election. Now, Bihar is gearing up for its next election. When a constant cycle of election goes on, the resources are being diverted. There is hindrance in the governance and long-term policy implementation comes to a pause. Well, let's see the pros of what one nation, one election proposes. Firstly, it reduces enormous expenditure. Do you all know that 2014 election, 30,000 crores were costed. 2019 election, a union election and 7 state elections were held, which together costed 60,000 crore. This is one of the most expensive elections in India's history. These funds could be redirected to crucial development like infrastructure development, building roads and highways. Railway expansion has come for education, providing scholarship for more than 5 lakh students. Setting up of digital learning by way of smart board classes. Providing electricity to more than 10,000 villages across India and job creation in industrial areas. Secondly, it minimizes the disruption of governance. By modern code of conduct, the government action is being restricted. According to the census, the first half of financial year 2024-25, 44% of the government spending is of the annual total target that year, and it is mainly due to MCC. Thirdly, it is also due to the forces burden on the security forces. According to statistics, 2019, 20 lakh people were employed for elections, whereas this is more larger than the military operation Brostak, which happened in 1986-87, which only employed 6 lakh to 8 lakh people. Though it has cons like it disrupts the federalism, by way of proper planning, this could become a great hit blockbuster. I would like to conclude by saying that the future is ours to shape. Let us make India extraordinary by implementing this in 2029 election. Thank you. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.
Respected dignitaries and my fellow participants, good afternoon to everyone. I am Chess 99. I am here to tell about a revolutionary idea of our nation, one election. paving way off to the Viksit Bharat. So, in our India, it is the largest democracy in the world. So, these held elections in every year for multiple of times. So, democracy, our India is a democratic country, and these can, by the frequently occurrence of these elections can cause the expenditures and administrative fatigue and slowdown of the governance. So thousands of crores of rupees spent on these elections can cause the depletion of the resources and cause the voters cause the So some may argue that our federal structure our federal structure out of this can cause that our federal structure can implement these reforms, but we have already reformed these by taking up bold decisions. In past years, we have taken these decisions like abolishing the untouchability to the implementation of GST. We have taken all these decisions. So we can implement these by cutting the election costs. We can develop our India by providing them into the by providing funds into the agriculture sectors, health sectors, and ISROs, and we can develop our science and technology, and we can develop transport systems and many of etc. And then in the words of APJ Abdul Kalam, dream is not what you see in the sleep, it is the thing which does not let you sleep. So let us dream the Viksit Bharat to drive us. So many policies will no longer hold due to these one nation and one election. These scheme can reduce the financial budgets and it promotes the inconvenience governance and it causes utilization of the resources. The voters fatigue will be reduced and also voters fatigue will be reduced and encourages the participant to participate in the electoral processes. So I conclude that one voice, one dream, one hopeful sound. In the every corner progress will found. Together we build, together we fight for Viksit Bharat, our nation's life. Thank you. Jai Hind.
To all the dignitaries and to all my co-participants. So, India, our strength in unity, our future in progress. Let's create a sustainable India for government. Let's create a sustainable India for generations to come. India, the land of opportunity, the land of innovation. The one nation, one election is the concept of one nation, one election is come by the central government under the Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji seeks to address the challenges which are associated with the frequent elections with the introduction of 129th Constitutional Amendment Bill. The one nation, one election envisions is synchronized election process where the elections for Lok Sabha, state legislative assemblies and some other local governments could pave the way for more efficient and stable election environment in India. With widespread political and people support, the concept of one nation, one election stands poison a streamlined India's democratic process and bolsters the efficient India. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat, Mera Yuva Bharat. Thanks for giving this opportunity.
का युवा है जहाँ छत्रपति शिवाजी महाराज, सुभाष चंद्र बोस और भगत सिंह जैसे नेता ने हमारे देश के लिए सेवा और हमारे जनता का समानता के लिए युद्ध किया है, which is indirectly states that जनता के लिए नेता और नेता के लिए जनता है. Now, respected excellencies and my fellow young minds, I am representing with the number 102. My question is, are we really patriots to our nation? Are we really trying for the electoral processes and sustainable development of our nation? If yes, are we seeing the changes in the local areas, or are we seeing the better infrastructure or developments from the local areas? No. they're still complaining. Even the student of a nation, of a state, still complaining about the education that we are getting. Our lives are spoiling due to education and government notification delay. Yes or right? Right. And next, not only this, but also rise in the inflation, rise in the corruption due to the political polarization between the two parties. And among these all things, some people are very greedy for the election, but not for their need. So finally, my vision towards this Viksit Bharat, one nation and one election is to amend the Article 243A and 243ZA, that which comes under State Election Board, but it should be considered under the Election Commission of the body. Then only the local bodies will get every facilities that a common man could require. What I want to express is, మన భారతదేశంలో ఏదైనా టెక్నాలజీ కానీ ఇన్నోవేషన్ కానీ ఏదైనా బిల్ పాస్ అవ్వాలన్నా కానీ మన లోకల్ ఏరియాస్, మన భారతదేశం యొక్క వెన్నుముక అయిన మన పల్లెటూర్ల నుంచి ఎప్పుడైతే ఆ ఇన్నోవేషన్ అనేది ప్రారంభం అవుతుందో ఆటోమేటికల్లీ రూరల్ ఏరియాస్ కానీ స్టేట్ కానీ నేషన్ కానీ ఇలా డెవలప్ అవుతూ వస్తుంది. దెన్ వీ కెన్ ప్రౌడ్లీ సే దట్ హమారా భారత్ ఈజ్ వికాస్ ఆఫ్ విరాసత్ భారత్. That is the real meaning of one nation and one election. So I finally conclude that our India aspires for a good streamlined governance by empowering our youth of the nation, by electing them in election commission. Because manaki ఒకేసారి ఎలక్షన్ జరగాలంటే we need a lot of resources, not only administration. They feel stress. So youth like you should participate in elections, and you have to contain the election process. So finally, you are the nation, you are the future leaders of India, so that you can shape the government at every level. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.
Namaskar to jury members and young leaders. I am holding the chess number 104. One nation, one election is paving way for Viksit Bharat 2047. The concept of one nation, one elections aims to synchronize the parliament elections and state assembly elections. These reforms could streamline governance and reduce the elections expenditure and focus development. The concept of one nation, one election started in the year of 1957, 1962, 1967 in India, that through ensuring the political parties and administrative stability. One nation, one election will make a path of Viksit Bharat in many ways. First thing, streamlined governance and reduced policy paralysis. In frequent elections, government was forced to be engaged for future campaign mode and long-term decisions makings. For example, in recent elections of Ghaziabad in Uttar Pradesh, the government was forced and 24 key projects were delayed due to the long-term decisions makings. And next one, reduction of elections expenditures. Simultaneously, these one nation, one elections drastically cut off the expenditures on government and political parties. For example, 2019 Lok Sabha elections, which are watershed elections because the expenditures are escalated to 55,000 crores from 9,000 crores in 1998 elections of Lok Sabha. And next month, electoral malpractices. Frequency conduction of these elections can lead to many opportunities like vote buying and misuse of source of state, etc. In Maharashtra and Jharkhand, in the elections of 2024, the armed forces seized more than drugs, cash and liquor, which was worth of 1,000 crores. And coming to the and I want to put here some suggestions to the one nation, one election. Use of AA. AA can allocate the high risk chart areas and can manage the elections where it can have safety measures, and it can allocate the how many members of agencies were used to do this. And I conclude that I believe Viksit Bharat is a soul for nation which makes streamlined governance. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Good afternoon, everyone. గుడ్ ఆఫ్టర్నూన్ టు టెస్టింగ్ జడ్జెస్ అండ్ ఫెలో లీడర్స్. మన దేశంలో ఎప్పుడు ఎక్కడ చూసినా ఏదో ఒక ఎలక్షన్ జరుగుతూనే ఉంటుంది. సో ఈ పద్ధతిని మార్చడానికి మన ప్రభుత్వం జమిలీ ఎన్నికలు తేవడానికి ట్రై చేస్తుంది. సో ఈ విధానం మనకు కొత్తదేమీ కాదు. 1967 వరకు మన దేశంలో ఈ విధానం చేపేవాడు. తర్వాత రాజకీయ అస్థిరత్వం మరియు కొన్ని పార్టీలు రద్దు కావడం వల్ల ఈ పద్ధతి ఆగిపోయింది. ఈ పద్ధతిని వెనక్కి తీసుకోవడానికి 1983లో ఈ ఎలక్షన్ కమిషన్ ఆఫ్ ఇండియా మరి ఇంకోసారి ట్రై చేసింది. సో దాన్ని మళ్ళీ తీసుకురావడానికి అప్పటి లీడర్స్ అటల్ బిహారీ వాజ్పేయి మరియు ఎల్కే అద్వానీ గారు 2003 మరియు 2009లో ట్రై చేశారు. 2014లో అధికారంలోకి వచ్చాక మోడీ ప్రభుత్వం దీన్ని మళ్ళీ అమలు చేయడానికి హామీ ఇచ్చింది, వాళ్ళ మేనిఫెస్టోలో భాగంగా చేర్చింది. సో దీనివల్ల మనం లాభాల గురించి మాట్లాడితే 2024లో ఎన్నికలు జరపడానికి 1.35 lakh crores ఖర్చు అయింది. దీని తర్వాత అది జస్ట్ లోక్సభ ఎలక్షన్స్ మాత్రమే. దాని తర్వాత మనం హర్యానా, జమ్మూ కాశ్మీర్, ఢిల్లీ వంటి ఎలక్షన్స్ కూడా చూసాం. దీనికి ఖర్చు అదనం. సో ఈ ఎలక్షన్స్ స్టేట్ అసెంబ్లీ మరియు లోక్సభ ఎలక్షన్స్ ఓడిసారి నిర్వహిస్తే మనకు ఈ ఖర్చు గణనీయంగా తగ్గుతుంది. సో మోడల్ కోడ్ ఆఫ్ కండక్ట్ వల్ల జాతీయ ఎలక్షన్స్ లోక్సభ ఎలక్షన్స్ వల్ల 3 months మరియు లోకల్ స్టేట్ ఎలక్షన్స్ వల్ల మరో 4 నెలలు, మొత్తం 7 నెలలు వృధా అవుతుంది. అంటే సంవత్సరంలో సగం వృధా అవుతుంది. దీనివల్ల మనకి ఇవి రెండు ఒకటేసారి నిర్వహించడం వల్ల మనం జీడిపిలో 1.5% అంటే 4.5 lakh crores మనం సేవ్ చేయొచ్చు, లేదంటే మనం ప్రొడక్షన్ చేయొచ్చు. సో ఈ 1.35 lakh crores which ever we have spent on elections, it is equal to the amount spent on education, budget allocation to education. సో ఇంకా ఎవరైతే దూర ప్రాంతాల వాళ్ళు ఉన్నారో వారి ఒకే ఎలక్షన్స్లో పార్టిసిపేట్ చేయడం వల్ల ఓటర్ టర్న్అవుట్ పెరుగుతుంది. అలాగే దీని వల్ల వచ్చే కొన్ని అభ్యంతరాల గురించి మాట్లాడితే మనం దీన్ని అమలు చేయడానికి 18 రాజ్యాంగ సవరణ అవసరం. అలాగే రిప్రజెంటేషన్ ఆఫ్ పీపుల్ యాక్ట్ 1951 కూడా సవరించాల్సి వస్తుంది. దీన్ని అమలు చేయడానికి సగం రాష్ట్రాలు కూడా ఆమోదించవలసి ఉంది. సో చివరగా మన దేశం యొక్క ఫెడరలిజం మరియు లోకల్ ఇంట్రెస్ట్ మరియు ప్రాంతీయ ప్రాముఖ్యతను కాపాడడానికి మరింత చర్చ మరియు ఏకాభిప్రాయం అవసరం. ఒక స్టడీతో ద్వారా తెలిసింది ఏమంటే ఒకేసారి ఎన్నికలు నిర్వహించడం వల్ల 77% ఒకే పార్టీకి లోక్సభ మరియు స్టేట్ అసెంబ్లీ ఓట్లు వేస్తారని తెలిసింది. థ్యాంక్ యూ.
मैं खुद ही अपना वंजस हूँ, मैं खुद ही अपना वारस, ये देश में मैं मेहनत से ही बना पारस हूँ. A very electric afternoon to the jury members, young jury members, once upon a time, and to my young, powerful youth parliamentarians. This is Empower Tej standing in front of you to speak on the discussion of One Nation, One Election, paving the way for the Viksit Bharat. What is this One Nation, One Election? Well, synchronization of all the elections at once to a certain period of time. This is the dream of our Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji. Okay, let me take you to a small village. An old farmer listening to a radio. He listens, again elections. He feels that news blood. Again, in our India, Mandu, Vindu, Chindu. But his son feels the same. He is very upset that all his work can be stopped and no salary again. And the same way, every year, every few months in India, the factories are shut down. The roads are unfinished. And all the lives of people comes to a pause. This is what happening in the present due to the constant elections. Due to this constant election, we can see the policy paralysis. Due to this policy paralysis, it is leading to backward the development, and the promises of political leaders are undelivered, and the welfare schemes are halted. This way, every year, our beloved political leaders, rather than focusing on governance, they have to chase over the votes. Tell me, I ask you, can a nation develop if the political leaders are chasing behind the votes rather than in governance? No. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let us speak about the expenditure. It was 1.35 lakh crore which was spent in the previous elections. My God. With this one nation, one election, we can spend thousands of crores, we can save thousands of crores and spend to educate the millions of youth like us and transform to a tremendous infrastructure. And in the same way, we can see some people argue that there are constitutional challenges, logistical challenges, political challenges. But I ask you, has India ever stepped back? No. Has ever the young minds of India ever stepped back? Never. We, I quote, युवा देश का निर्माण करना चाहता हूं और इस अखंड राष्ट्र का निर्माण केवल युवा ही कर सकता है. And I say, we the youngsters can mold and motivate the masses. We the youngsters can shape and strengthen the future. We the youngsters can empower and enlighten the lives of across the globe. We the youngsters are always on the same platform saying that Taggedele. And even I say, some people argue that there are people.
एक चुनाव एक संकल्प, विकसित भारत हो शुभारंभ. आदरणीय सभी को मेरी प्रणाम. मेरे चेस्ट संख्या है 109. आज मैं आप सबके समक्ष में वन नेशन वन इलेक्शन पेविंग द वे फॉर विकसित भारत के विषय पर मेरा विचार प्रस्तुत करने जा रही हूँ. आशा है कि सबको मेरी संभाषण पसंद आएगा. एक राष्ट्र एक चुनाव भारत में एक प्रस्तावित निर्वाचन विधेयक है जिसका उद्देश्य लोकसभा और राज्य विधानसभाओं के चुनाव एक साथ या एक निश्चित समयावधि के भीतर सुनिश्चित करना जा रही है. वर्तमान में ये चुनाव अलग अलग समय पर संपन्न होता है. हमारे प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी ने इस प्रबल से समर्थक है. उन्होंने 1 सितंबर 2023 को पूर्व राष्ट्रपति कोविंद से उनकी अध्यक्षता में एक कमेटी गठित करने के लिए अनुरोध किया. एक राष्ट्र एक चुनाव कोई नया विचार नहीं है कि ये हमारे संविधान के प्रारंभिक दिनों में जुड़ा हुआ है. हमारे भारत ने लोकसभा और राज्य विधानसभाओं के लिए विशेष रूप में एक साथ चुनाव कराए. उसका लाभ है कि इस बात से उनका लाभ है कि इस बात से बहुत सारा धन बचाने में मदद मिलेगी और शेष धन ने गरीबों को और सरकार स्कूल में पढ़ाते हुए बच्चों को सहायता होगी और किसानों को सहायता होगी और रेलवे में और सड़क निर्माणों में सहायता होगी जो विकसित भारत के निर्माण में महत्वपूर्ण भूमिका निभाते हैं. और उनका नुकसान है कि क्षेत्रीय मुद्दों का अनदेखी और राष्ट्रीय सरकार के राज्य स्थिरता और लोकतंत्र का प्रभाव होगी. इनका निष्कर्ष है कि एक राष्ट्र एक चुनाव निर्णय में भारत ने देश के हित को ध्यान में रखते हुए चर्चा के बाद लिया जा रहा है. और सरकार ने यह सुनिश्चित करना चाहते हैं कि देश के प्रत्येक नागरिक के लिए योग न्याय संगत हो रहा है और किसी भी नागरिक के अधिकारों को नुकसान ना पहुंचे. इसलिए यह निर्णय लेने पहले यह विचार करना आवश्यकता है और हमारे राष्ट्र में और राष्ट्र में रहने वाले लोगों का क्या सही है. जय हिंद.
Today dignitaries and my fellow participants, good afternoon to everyone. Today I am here to talk about the
one nation, one election, which is very important and which shapes our country's future. One nation, one election, one nation, one election that shapes our future, that shape the future of our country. That one nation, one election means conducting the Lok Sabha elections and state assemblies elections together, which gives good governance and leads to development of our country. Right now the elections are conducted differently in different states. This leads to less benefits like less governance and high political pressures. Managing all elections together is a need advanced planning. One nation, one election is the major step for developed country. Thank you. Jai Hind.
I am honored to speak about one nation, one election, which is widely discussed in our country. And India is the largest democratic country, which follows unique electoral system. In which our country has multiple constitutions, elections which are followed multiple times, Lok Sabha and State Assembly, and here multiple types of elections leads to continuous government leading to continuous government. Benefits of having one nation and one election is to saving of resources and money. Due to multiple times of elections, increased amount of money, manpower are consumed, and by conducting it one nation, one election leads to reduced money and manpower, security, etc. Challenges that are faced, impact on federalism due to conduct of one nation, one election leads to increased focus on national and reduced focus on national state assembly.
To all the dignitaries present here, my test number is 11. Today I stand here to talk about the one election. India, a land of vibrant diversity, where cultures blend and traditions thrive. From Medicine Maharashtra to the backwaters of Kerala,
माइक साइड का बट करो ना माइक साइड का बट करो ना
let us draw inspiration from India's rich heritage. Just as the Ganga river flows effortlessly nourishing the plains and people along its bank, our democratic system can be strengthened by synchronizing elections. The idea of holding simultaneous polls for Lok Sabha, state assemblies and local bodies streamlines the electoral process and reduces the financial burden on our government. As we strive for a democracy, let us remember the wisdom of our ancient texts, which emphasizes the importance of our nation's unity and collective growth. By embracing one nation, one election, we can foster a sense of unity, reduce the disruptions in the governance, and we can ensure that our elected representatives can focus on the development and policies. Furthermore, one nation, one election can promote the continuity of policies, and we can enable the government to focus on long-term strategies of implementations rather than short political strategies. In conclusion, I want to conclude that let us envision an India where elections are celebrated as the democratic spirits. India where elections celebrated as democratic spirit, and an India which stands proud, strong and united, a true embodiment of our nation's motto, democracy and unity and diversity. Thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Good afternoon all.
My chest number is 115. I am here to explain that one nation, one election, paving the way for Vikisit Bharat. Now I want to tell that one nation, one election is a pivotal step that has took by Modi's government to develop the India by 2047. Vikisit Bharat. Vikisit Bharat main motto is to develop our nation, and the one nation, one election is about the synchronization of Lok Sabha and state legislative assemblies to conduct the elections at once. Actually, simultaneous elections is not a new idea for India. Our India has conducted the simultaneous elections in 1952 to 1967, and this was interrupted by the Lok Sabha and state legislative assemblies. The 129th Constitutional Assembly Bill was proposed to institutionalize the one nation, one election, and the amendment of Articles 83 and 172 has concluded that the Lok Sabha and state legislative assemblies to conduct the simultaneous elections. We, the youth, are the driving force for any nation's development and future innovative ideas. We, the youth, have to spread our ideas and innovative thoughts to our nation and pave a way for development. Now I conclude that one nation, one election is a transformative step that has took by Modi's government to develop our India, and thank you for giving me this golden opportunity.
The concept of today's topic is the concept one nation, one election. The concept of one nation, one election proposes to synchronize all elections in India. The concept of one nation, one election proposes to synchronize all elections in India, including Lok Sabha and state legislative assemblies. It should be held either within a single day or within a specific time. The idea aims to minimize the disruption and reduce the costs. The high-level committee on one nation, one election, constituted by the Government of India in 2023. The one nation and one election implemented in two phases. The first phase would synchronize State Legislative Assembly and Lok Sabha. The second phase should synchronize Panchayat and municipality elections. 1952 to 1967 has simultaneous elections on Lok Sabha and state legislative assemblies. 1968 to 69 the cycle was disrupted due to division of state assemblies and Lok Sabha. On December the one nation and one election includes both advantages and disadvantages. The advantages are reduced cost and minimize the disruptions. The disadvantages are reduced accountability. Thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Hello everyone, respected dignitaries. Today topic is one nation, one election. The motto of one nation, one election is a synchronization of all election and reduce the frequency of elections. And the articles are 83, 85, 172 and 356. The need to modify to align the elections, and it is also called as the Jubilee elections. It reduces the cost and the administrative bodies. It increases the 1.5% of GDP. That means approx 4.5 lakh crores. This fund further development to education, revenue and health sectors, and it decreases 1% of inflation rate. Inflation rate means it increases the goods and services of over period of a time. Thank you.
to the dignitaries and my fellow students, good afternoon everyone. Today I am here to talk about the crucial aspect of our democracy, the concept of one nation and one election. Proposes aligning election cycles of Lok Sabha and state legislative assemblies. As of now in India, elections are conducted in different times of state legislative assemblies and Lok Sabha. This makes the government always in the mood of the elections. By conducting the one nation and one election, the budget of the government also will be decreased. According to the estimations of the government, but for conducting the elections in India, 5,000 crores are required. By conducting the one nation one election, it will be decreased. Thank you.
Dignitaries and my fellow participants, today I would like to discuss about one nation and one election paving the pathway to Viksit Bharat. The main one nation and one election refers to the idea of holding simultaneous election to Lok Sabha and state legislative assembly. The main objective of one nation and one election is to reduce election cost and promote political stability and to develop our nation. Simultaneous election is not new in India. From 1951 to 1967, simultaneous elections are conducted for Lok Sabha and State Legislative Assembly. This cycle was disturbed in 1968 and 1969 due to premature dissolution of State Legislative Assembly. Both state and central government have fixed duration to develop our nation by raising funds, including developing hospitals, developing studies and education, by providing funds to the farmers and providing funds to the poor people, etc. But frequent elections can lead to by conducting elections for every few months in different states can lead to the decrease in election cost. At the same time, whole country conduct elections once every 5 years. By Ek Desh, Ek Chunav and Ek Bhavishyat. By this I want to conclude. Thank you for giving me this opportunity.
A pleasant afternoon to everyone. Today I am here to talk about one nation, one election. One nation, one election is a system to provide the elections simultaneously all over the country. Its objective is to maintain simultaneous elections in parliament and all state assemblies and 8 union territories, and it also being implemented in the post-independence era from 1947 to 1967, and due to some disruptions in the provisions of states, the simultaneous elections were removed, and on 2014 March 4, Narendra Modi, who is the CM of Gujarat, was proposed that simultaneous elections to be implemented in India, so that Ramnath Kovind in the year of 2023 September 8 prepared a book with 18,000 pages about the simultaneous elections, and it was submitted to President of India, Draupadi Murmu, and some of the points related to one nation, one elections are regional issues may be overshadowed with national issues, and regional elections may have the limited resources for conducting simultaneous elections. Thank you.
Good afternoon to everyone. Honorable dignitaries, respected teachers and my dear friends. Myself, test number 126. Today I am honored to be here in front of you all to speak about a few words on important vision of our country, that is Viksit Bharat, the way paving for the one nation and one election. Viksit Bharat was first introduced by our Prime Minister Narendra Modi for the transformation of the India to well developed by 2047. Our dream of our people is to see India as a global leaders with the better welfare, education, poverty. India is India is free from our poverty, unemployment, discrimination, and it is thriving for the innovation and technology. One nation and one election. Elections are held in India for every times of in Lok Sabha and the Vidhan Sabha or other local bodies. So it causes more frequent expenses and political distractions between the politicians. And the main goal of this one nation and one election is to implement the equal, simultaneously held conduct the elections. So let's unite together to make the India as a well-developed nation. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my test number is 127. Today I am here to give a few words on one nation and one election. The concept aim is to synchronize the Lok Sabha and state assembly elections done simultaneously in a same day or in a specific time frame. This idea aims to reduce the election cost and it promotes the policy continuity. This is not a new thing for our India. After the independence, this is the thing we follow for the election. At the time in India, all the elections are held at the one time. But during the 1950 and 1960s, there was a disruptions occurred during that time. So the cycle is disrupted. After that, we didn't think about this one nation and one election. So after 2000 recognized, so we cannot simply copy paste anyone else. First we should think about what is very pertinent to us. We make a best plan for that and then we implement. It gives us the boost for the nation. Thank you so much.
Respected delegates and my fellow parliamentarians, today I stand before you to discuss a transformative proposal that has the crucial role to change the democratic landscape. That is one nation, one election. Historically, from 1951 to 1967, our India implemented this, and due to some political developments, it was changed, and now we are following the 5 years elections. But one nation, one rule policy also has some challenges, pros and cons. To overcome all this, we the youth are very important to participate in it and get some change in all. So, what our youth's contribution to our one nation, one election? So, if we see now our state elections, everyone is not interested in the development, but everyone is interested in the money they give and the money they contribute and the free schemes they are providing. So first we have to change and we have to think about our developed India, how to develop India, what are the things we have to do to develop our India. So this is not an easy thing to implement one nation, one election, because if we see our state elections, for EVMs are not enough to perform whole elections at the same time. Also, it has a high expenditure, so it is not easily possible until we are completely developed. So think about that, and there are also some advantages like good governance, resource usage. By that, good governments, they can only concentrate on the government things but not on the campaigning
but usage of resources. This will be helpful and provide every development required for the villages and everyone. And also, I need to say that to the youth, we are the ones to change our country, and we are the only one who can change our country, and we are the one who can help to implement one nation, one election policy. So, according to Swami Vivekananda, he only said that youth are the only one who can change anything. Jai Hind.
Namaste, respecting the dignitaries who are presenting on the dais and all my dear young and dynamic future leaders of our nation. A very warm good afternoon to one and all. Today I am here to speak and express my views on one nation, one election, paving way for the Viksit Bharat by 2047. Before moving on to the topic, let me ask you one question. Is the elections are more important than health and education? Of course no. And also, according to 2024 Economic Times of India, we received the information that our India is spending more budget on the elections when compared with the education and health and development of a nation. Is it good enough to show our country as a developed country by 2047? Absolutely no. That's why our India is going to implement simultaneous elections, which will reduce the cost of elections. And also, it is not a new one to us. It's already implemented in the 1951 and it continues till the year 1967. And in the year 1968 and 1969, it was completely disturbed due to political disturbances in state assemblies. And now, our Prime Minister Narendra Modi had taken a good initiative towards one nation, one election, which will minimize the cost of elections, and where we can use that money to build the schools and education, and we can spend a lot of money on the education and also providing the health facilities to the people who are suffering with the health. And also, we can spend that money to improve the infrastructure of our development of a nation. So, and also, the one nation, one election improves the political administration, and also it will improve the better policy making, and it will indirectly encouraging the participation of voters, and it will indirectly enhancing the democracy of our nation. That is what the dream of our country, and that is what the motto of our country, that is what the dream of our freedom fighters. Now let us come to the consequences of one nation, one election. There are few more consequences that will rise from politically, economically and geographically. Let us consider, ideally every state has their own elections, own strategic, own political conditions and own economical conditions. According to that, they are going to implement the elections, and based on that, they are going to conduct the elections. But when it comes to geographical conditions, you have to check once again. See, according to geographical conditions, every state has their own climatic conditions. There might be a possibility of there might be a possibility of conducting simultaneous elections at the time of rainy season. So at that time, there may be a chances of occurring of heavy rains in rainy season. So heavy rains will lead to the floods. At that time, there may be a cause of, it will lead to the halt of elections. And I finally conclude that our Prime Minister Narendra Modi had taken a good initiative towards one nation, one election. He is collecting the ideas from the youth of our nation. That is what we are performing now. And as the youth of our nation, we should need to participate, and we should need to involve, and we should need to encourage, and we should need to promote the people, create awareness among the regarding one nation, one election, and we should need to implement one nation, one election by 2047, and we should need to show our legacy to all the other nations. Thank you. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.
Respected dignitaries, honorable jury persons, very good afternoon to one and all. Myself K. Satya Narasimha. Now I am going to discuss about the topic one nation, one election. As we all know that elections act as a heartbeat for the democratic country. But irregular heartbeat weakens the system. That's why our government wants to implement one nation, one elections as much as possible. It has the following advantages, due to which it strengthens the governance and improves the administration. Nowadays, recent elections and repeated elections disturbing the cycle of administration and governance, and the political leaders are always wants to go beyond the duties and always propagandizing their political ideas rather than involving in administration ideas. The second one is it increases voter turnout. As we heard that many people like saying it is very hard to vote in multiple elections, due to which they cannot vote properly due to their heavy work and their studies. So one nation, one election synchronizes the electoral process and makes the electoral process very easier, and it increases the voters' participation significantly. And third one is it reduces policy paralysis. When we say that even before 2 years, nearly 600 days within the moral code of conduct, which provides whose burden and liability on us, because at that time administration and governance of the political leaders are turned into their political agendas for their propagandizing to win the elections. And the fourth one is it also aligns with the international agreements, due to which so many countries like Sweden and South Africa also implemented the one nation one election, but it is enjoying the fruits of one nation one election. Actually, these countries sincerely faced some challenges, but now they are enjoying the fruits of one nation one election. But we are in a state of dilemma whether we have to implement or not. No doubt, one nation one elections will surely provide the solutions for these things, and some other people argue that it might have some disadvantages, like we have to do constitutional amendments, it requires more resources, and we like that. Say, I will ask one question, my dear friends. Is any idea in the world which does not have any challenges? Absolutely, everyone has challenges, but we the youth have to find new innovative ideas to solve them. The vision of one nation, one election is it provides a platform where everyone has equal accessibility to healthcare education, and it wants to place the development as a central level, not the politics. So I want to conclude by saying that Viksit Bharat, one nation, one election is acts as a major role in development process. So we have to implement as much as possible. Thank you. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.
And the topic is one nation, one election, and it is proposed in India to synchronize the state legislative commissions, state legislative authorities along with the Lok Sabha Parliament. In India, it is initiated in 1952, 1957, 1962 and 1967. In 1968 and 1969, the Parliament disrupted the elections commissions. And the main benefits and the historicals is reducing the cost, and these expenditures used in for beneficial purposes like healthcare, etc. And according to one nation, one election, some articles should be changed. That articles like 83, 85, 172, 174 and 356. Article number 83 deals with the duration of the Lok Sabha, and Article number 85 deals with the power of the Lok Sabha Parliament, and Article number 172 deals with the duration of state legislative authorities, and Article number 174 deals with the state legislative commissions, and Article number 356 deals with the power of the Parliament. And one nation, one elections are followed by many countries like Switzerland, North America, South Africa, Indonesia, etc. Jai Hind.
Number is 133. I stand before you speaking about one nation, one election. The one nation, one elections mean holding the one nation, one elections holding the state elections and Lok Sabha elections at the same time. One nation elections are conducting in different states at different times. It affecting the governance and development. The main aim of the one nation and one elections organizations and less cost. Why do we need one nation, one elections? Elections are conducted frequently somewhere in India every year. India. These affected the politicians and officials focusing on the companion instead of the working for the people. Benefits for the one nation, one India. Save money. voters, more voters for participation, less corruption. Thank you.